Minds up, yeah. What's going on? It is your girl Takia Diamond, and this week I am coming to you live with some heat. Oh yes, we are turning up the fire. We are turning up the volume on our finances. Oh yes, we are changing our money mindsets over the course of the next 5 days, and I probably extended past that, but most of you guys are aware that I have an upcoming book that is going to help you shift your money mindset, titled From Poverty to Profit. Oh yes, and I am so excited about this book. I am learning so much in the process of me writing this book. I just love how all the information is just flowing right through me, and I'm seeing a whole lot of stuff. And guess what? I wanted to come forth and share the stuff that I'm getting with you, so you could be on the same stuff that I'm on, so that we can all rise to financial freedom together, right? What better way than to do it with other people, right? So today we are going to talk about a few ways that you can actually reach financial freedom. Now, don't get it twisted, because I know many of you guys are stuck in your credit card mindset. So you're stuck in, how much debt you have, and it's like, oh, I'll never be able to be financially free, or money don't grow in trees, money is hard to come by. And really, truthfully, guys, it's really just a lot of our limiting beliefs that we've been holding on to, that we've been taught ever since we were children, that has brought us to this place of wherever we are when it comes to financial abundance, right? And it's mainly because, what stories did we hear our mother or our father telling us? Were they telling us that money was evil? Did they tell us, or did we witness our parents arguing all the time over money as a child, so that when we grew up, it made us believe like money was bad, because we always saw, our parents fighting over it, or whatever the case may be, right? And so whatever these beliefs are, and we are going to get into money mindset beliefs during the course of the 5 days. But tonight, I really just wanted to show up, and I wanted to give you just a few tips that can help you become financially free, right? We all know one of the first thing and the main thing that you have to do if you want to reach financial freedom is, one, you have to change your money mindset, which means you have to change some of your money habits. Oh yes, you are going to have to change some of your habits, whether it's spending, whether it's saving, whether it's coupon cutting, whether it's, depositing money into a savings account that you like to hold on to in your pocket, whatever it might be. At the end of the day, you're going to have to change some habits. So I want to chat with you guys tonight real briefly. I won't keep you long, but just some things that you can do to help you, get to that space where you do feel like, you are becoming financially free, or just not having to feel like you have to stress as much as you used to have to stress when it comes to money. So I just want to turn this down and make sure that you guys can hear me. All right. So if you're like most Americans, you are probably living from paycheck to paycheck. I've been there until I learned how to create multiple streams of income, which is extremely important, and we're going to get into that this week, right? And when you live paycheck to paycheck, let's just be honest, you have this paycheck, but it's like barely enough to get by. It's like, this check is coming, and you go to work because you're going to have some kind of money flowing in. You have your car note, you have to pay your rent, you got to pay child care, or whatever the case might be, right? And so it's kind of hard to save money, really challenging. I don't like to use the word hard, but it's pretty challenging to actually save money when you're working from paycheck to paycheck, right? Because it's hard for you to save, and you end up with a lot of credit card debt, right? You end up with these credit cards that come and make life look so flossy for about 30 days as you go on a spending spree. The day that they give you your $500 limit, you feel like you've hit the jackpot. And you go out there and you max out, and then you look back at all of the stuff you bought and you like, I ain't even need this. But it's too late now. I mean, unless you're going to take it back and get credit back to your credit card. But what sense does that make at this point? You already utilized it, so you might as well go ahead and pay it off so that you can get your credit on track, right? And keep your credit on point, right? So the key, guys, to get on track financially, I'm going to share with you guys, I want to say maybe about like 7 simple steps, okay, for getting out of debt, for saving for your future, and actually just living the life that you've always imagined, you know. And I'll be honest with you guys, like, so much has actually changed for me, just myself alone, you know, where I've been able to accomplish a lot of things when it comes to wealth, or building wealth, you know, or just even, you know, shifting my mindset when it comes to money, to where money actually shifted in my life, to where it's like, you know, now it's not as hard for me to make a sale. If it's something that I really need or something that I really want to purchase, it's easier for me to attract opportunities to make more money so that I can fund the expense of whatever it is that I need to, you know, generate this money up for. Okay. So the first thing that you are going to do, number one, what you're going to do, okay, is you're going to make a budget every month. So we're not going to say that you're going to take this the same budget every single month and just use that drawn out, because what does that do? It still puts you in a paycheck to paycheck state of mind. And my intention is to get you out of the paycheck to paycheck state of mind, right? So if you create a new budget every month, it's because my intention is to show you how to obtain more financial abundance so that you'll be able to save more, and you'll be able to do more, save more now and do more later. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, guys, it's time to get serious about your money. What is it that you're doing with your money? What are you wasting your money on that really doesn't bring any value to you? Anytime you are circulating money or you are putting money out there, it should be in some way that you're investing in something that's going to give you something back. So, for instance, like my friend Razel, who's on this live with us right now, he has invested in cameras and studio equipment, because what? This is his gift. This is his dream. He loves to do photography. He loves filming. He loves movies, right? So him investing $3 to $4, $5, $6, $7, whatever, $8,000 in camera equipment was a hefty investment, but this investment will actually make him money back, because now he can utilize this equipment that he purchased to be for hire for people who actually want to do things that he can film and be compensated for, right? So whatever it is that you're spending your money on, if you're just going to the Dollar Tree, and all of us are guilty of this, there's not one person on this live that can tell me they don't do this, or that they haven't done it. You might not do it no more, because I know I don't do it anymore, but I used to. So you go into the dollar store, right? Y'all already know the Dollar Tree. You be like, okay, I'm going to go in here, and you tell yourself that I'm just going to get me a roll of tissue, and I'm going to just get me, I don't know, some dish detergent or whatever the case may be, right? And then you come out there with this cart that's mad big with all of this stuff in it that you really had no intention on buying. But because you had the dinero in your hand like fire, it was burning your fingers, and you just felt like you had to use it. Make no mistake, money wants to be used by you, but it also wants to be used and put to use in an appreciative manner. Remember, money is energy, and we're going to talk about that more as we go through our 5 days of money talk, okay? So the bottom line, guys, is, you know, if you have someone special or not, But if you do, if you don't have someone special, okay, you're gonna deal with this budget on your own. If you do have a spouse or somebody that you with, then you're gonna sit down with your spouse and you guys are gonna make a monthly budget based on your income, not your expenses. Because what most people do is they create this budget based on what they got to put out. So they're never really monitoring, or they're never really thinking about everything that's coming in, right? And so that mindset does what to you? It keeps you spending money, keep spending to where you don't have anything and you end up broke. You end up with a JOB, which is what Dr. Chickwood would say represents just over broke. And why does he say when you work a job is just over broke? Because when you're living paycheck to paycheck, you get this money from the hours that you work, the time that you put in, and all this other stuff, right? Which is perfectly fine if that's what you choose. But then after you pay all your bills, what do you have left? You have like what, $30, $40 left to do what with? You understand what I'm saying? So this budget that you guys are going to build is going to be based on your incoming money, not your expenses on what you have to put out. All right. So one thing you're not going to be doing anymore is you're not going to be spending more money than you have. Okay. And I know we've all been guilty of that, or of knowing that we really don't need to be spending money on a certain thing, but we do it anyway. And then after we do it, feel guilty about it. You know what I mean? So to be honest with you guys, overspending is what led you into debt in the first place. So you really got to come to terms that this is where this got me. And if I want to change something, I cannot stay in this same place. I cannot continue to do the same thing, or else guess what? You will continue to remain in the same financial place, broke, busted, and disgusted. All right. So we got to get past that. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to decide each month what's coming in. Okay. And you're going to also decide, what's going to be going out. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to assume, okay, that only minimum payments on all of your debts. You're going to assume the minimum payments on all of your debts, right, will suffice. I say that because, of course you want to pay more as you go along. But if you really don't have it to pay more, just do what it is that you can do to pay it down. And we're going to get into that within the steps. And we're going to talk about what you're going to do, some steps you can take to actually pay your debt down, right? All right, so the bottom line that I'm trying to make with this, guys, is that your income must be greater or equal to the expenses. All right. So your income must be greater than or equal to your expenses. All right. So number 2, what you're going to do, I don't even have one because I cut mine up. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Cut them credit cards up. You don't need them. You might need just one. And I know that you would need just one, at least one, because like if you're trying to book a hotel or rent a car or whatever, it's required. Some of them have become a little lenient now to where they let you use your debit card, but they take more money off because it's the debit card, and they put the hold on there, and you be pissed off that you got $500 on hold and you only need the car for 2 days, which is only going to be $80, right? I know, I've been there before, right? So besides that one card that has a decent limit to it, okay, you're not going to touch this card unless you really, really need this card in order to authorize or put a hold on something that you want to do, that you maybe a trip or whatever the case may be, and you might need the credit card in order to get it done. So hold on to one card. But outside of that, guys, I need you to cut the cards up. You know what I mean? From now on, you're going to be using cash, okay? Or you're going to be using your debit card for everything, which means what I'm trying to teach you is to how to put your funds in your bank account. Because once we come up with the plan of your budget of, how your money is going to actually begin working for you, rather than you receiving the money and it's working for everything else besides you. Okay. The key here, guys, is to pay cash. I mean, why not? Because anytime you use a credit card, you got to pay interest anyway. And if you don't pay the bill off in full, you're going to accrue these interest fees that are going to end up causing you to pay like 3 to 4 times the amount of what it was that you were trying to pay for or buy in the first place. So it doesn't really come out to like a saving or a value. You understand what I mean? So I mean, you want to use your head here, guys. All right. Use the cash, use the cha-ching, use your debit card, put your credit card up, that one card, and the rest of them, cut them up because you don't need them. All right. Number 3, this is something I really, really want you to do. And it might be challenging at first, but I promise you, if you put your mind to it, and I'm even talking this like on a lower scale, you know what I mean? To where this can be, anybody could use this method that I'm sharing with you. Okay. So number 3 is you're going to save $1,000 fast. Okay, you're going to save $1,000 quickly. I don't care if each week you get paid and you put $30 into a savings account or into a money market account or whatever you need to do. Okay, but this $1,000, this is going to be your starter emergency account. All right. So this is what I'm telling you, cut up the credit cards. All right. Because you're going to have an emergency account so that if any emergency happens to emerge, you will still be able to cover the expenses again using cash, so that you're not paying all of this ridiculous interest, making you pay 3 times what the value really was, or what the item cost, or what the service cost, or whatever the case may be. All right. So no matter what other bills, no matter what other obligations that you have right now, guys, I need you to do whatever you can do to try to set this money aside, okay? Do what you have to do. Like I said, even if you have to put it in a money market account or you have to put it in a savings account, you need to put $1,000 to the side, okay, for emergency purposes, all right? Now, the key here, guys, the thing that I really need you to get about this, as to why I'm saying this, right, is because while you're working to pay down your debt, your emergency account is basically going to prevent you from wiping out your credit card in an emergency. All right? Again, interest. You're paying triple. You're paying quadruple. You're paying 5 times the amount of what it will cost. Okay, so if your car happens to break down, or I don't know, maybe the hot water heater breaks, or whatever the case may be, and your roof starts leaking or whatever, and you have a financial emergency, right? These are all good reasons to actually access your emergency money, right? But your emergency money is not fun money. So don't think that you're putting this $1,000 to the side because this is the money you're going to use to go to Disney World. If you decide that you want to go to Disney World, then you need to create a whole nother savings account for Disney World and call it Disney World. This is your emergency account that I'm talking about. Now, I don't want you to get stuck in the mindset to where it's like, you're saving for, I guess, like a rainy day, or you're saving just in case, right? Because that too is like a money mindset block, which we're going to talk about this week, money blocks. So I don't want you to come from that space of, oh, in case something happens, I need to have this money, because that's fear. All right. And so anytime you're operating from fear, what are you doing? You're creating circumstances that are very well going to force you to utilize the money that you put to the side in case you have, some emergency. And this is only because I'm trying to get you out of feeling like you have to use your credit cards. I'm trying to get you to use your cash so that you can use your money properly and you can circulate your money properly. All right. So this isn't about being in fear, saving this money because you're scared to death. You might run out of food and you might need the money for food. This is, anything can happen, but you're not coming from that mindset. You're saving it because you need to save it. And it's going to help save you money. You saving the emergency money is going to save you money. All right. So as I was saying, that money is not for you to be going on trips and all that other stuff. Okay. It should not be used for anything that is predictable. Like if you know that, oh, my car note is going to be due on such and such date. You say, oh, I'm putting this money in savings so I can pay my car note. No, that's not what the account is for. It should not be anything that you can predict is going to be an expense. This should be something out of the blue takes place, and you need to have the cash on hand to get it done real quick. And instead of using your credit card, you use that cash. All right. So any type of Christmas, birthday parties, TVs, whatever it is, allow those things to fall into your budget category. So if you feel like, you need to buy a new TV, then go ahead and arrange your budget for you to actually be able to go ahead and purchase that television that you want. But do not take it from your emergency funding account. All right. Now, number 4, what you're going to do is if you work a 9 to 5 and the job has, the company has a 401k, what you want to do, most of the companies that have 401ks, they do things to where they match your contribution. So if you're putting in 3% and you know that your job is going to match 3%, take advantage of the free money. Take advantage of the free money, okay? Contribute to your 401k only enough to maximize your employer's match, okay? So once your $1,000 emergency fund is neatly tucked away in a safe place, right? What you're going to do is you're going to adjust your 401k contribution, all right? And you are going to make it work to your advantage to take advantage of all the free money that your employer is going to give you based on what you put in it, okay? So if it's your employer match is 50%, right? And maybe you put in 6% and they're going to match you 3% of that 6%. Well, then guess what? That's how you need to handle your contributions. That's the way that you need to set your mind. Like, if I put this in, how much more free money can I get from them to put in this so that it can build up my account? Okay? So you got to know this, guys. The best return on your money is free money. What? It's true. It's that risk-free money, that match money from your employer. Okay? It's the best return on the money that you're putting in a 401k that's for you anyway. All right? So if you don't have a 401k plan and you don't work a 9 to 5, or your job doesn't offer the 401k, or they don't have a match program, it's fine. Then you could skip this step. All right. But remember that, at the end of the day, guys, you should not be working on the next step until you've completed the ones that I've spoken to you about before. Okay, make sure you stay on track with what I'm giving you. I'm giving it to you in this order because this is going to be the best way to help you get to your financial freedom faster than what you probably thought that you could get there. All right. So, once you start going through the steps, and again, if you're contributing to your 401k and the brakes on your car go, all right, then fine. If you need to take that $500, maybe 500 of the 1,000 to go get your brakes fixed, go get them fixed. But do not feel like, oh, okay, because I spent that 500, now my balance is 500. No, what you're going to do is you're going to readjust your budget, as I stated, from month to month to month, right? So that you can put that money back. That money is not for you to just do whatever you want with it, because you're just going to end up back in the same place, broke, busted, disgusted, pissed off that you're not achieving your financial goals. You don't feel like you're obtaining enough money in your life. You don't feel like you could really live the life you want to live because your money looking funny and all that other wonderful stuff. So you got to get past that. Okay, so if you are contributing to your 401k and something happens, do what you need to do to get your balance back up to that $1,000. Don't think that, let me tell you this, your $1,000 is not free money. It's emergency cash, okay? Emergency cash, all right? So, number 5, what you're going to do is you're going to pay off your debt. Yes, you are going to pay off your debt. Now, I probably won't really talk too much about this in the 5 days to the 5 days of money talk, but I will probably talk about money and your sovereignty, of how a lot of this stuff can actually get wiped out. But I'm not going to talk about that right now because that's like a whole nother next level. I want to just get you here first so that you can actually feel good about paying down your debt and becoming financially free. And then whatever else, and we could deal with that later. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a list of all your debts, right? Write them down, each one: Macy's, Bloomingdale's, American Express, Capital One. See, I know, because when I was in college, I had like 22 credit cards, seriously. And I wasn't even using all of them, but I had them. Anyway, that's a whole nother credit. That's a credit story right there, but we're not going to get into that because that's too long. But anyway, at the end of the day, what I want you to do, guys, I want you to make a list of all your debts, right? You're going to exclude your mortgage, okay? You're going to, your debt list, it should pretty much include maybe like your car note, all right? Because that's still a loan, all right? So you still need to pay off that loan, right? But the thing with your mortgage and your house, I mean, you already know, you got to have a roof over your head. That's a whole nother story, all right? But, your debt, it should include, your car loans, your credit cards, your student loans, and so on, whatever it is. Write them all out, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to put those debts in order from smallest to largest, right? You're going to put them in order. So if you owe, I don't know, maybe you have a $300 credit limit with Capital One, right? If that's the lowest balance that you have out of all of your credit card accounts, and that's the lowest debt that you have, then pay that off first. Get rid of it. Some of the biggest frustrations and mistakes that people make is you trying to pay off the big things and then you leave the small things behind, and then those be left unpaid when they could be wiped off of your report. They could be paid in full. Get rid of them. Okay, get rid of the small ones, all right? Start paying down the small ones first, okay? So it doesn't matter if you have a $20,000 loan at a, I don't know, a 30% interest rate, or a $500 loan at 1% interest rate, okay? At the end of the day, that $500 loan should become first on your list. That is the one that you want to actually go ahead and knock out, all right? So what you want to do is start by making the minimum payments on all your loans, all right? I know sometimes, you feel like you don't have it, and the problem is that in your mind, you feel like you don't have it, so you don't pay nothing. You just take the bill and you just shove it under your notebook or under your bed or on your dresser because you feel like you don't want to deal with it. But let me tell you how, just because you don't deal with it doesn't mean that the debt disappears. Okay? So you still got to face it. You still going to have to deal with it, because if you want to make a bigger purchase in the long run, guess what? That debt is going to show up, and it's going to show up unpaid. So get them done. Okay? Start making the minimum payments at least. Even if it's $12, I don't care. Start paying them down so that, you can reduce the amount that you owe, even though we know paying the minimum payment doesn't always make your debt go down a whole lot faster, because of course the more you pay, blah 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 blah. But I'm saying you got to start somewhere. So rather than me trying to break you and saying, oh, okay, from your paycheck, I know you're supposed to pay your rent, but instead of paying your rent, pay this. You get what I'm saying? I'm not. The main thing I want to get through your head, okay, guys, is to, focus all your energies on getting the smaller debts paid off first, so that you could be done with them, and then you can deal with the bigger stuff, okay? Once that first loan is paid off, now you're going to take the money that you were paying monthly, and then you're going to aggressively pay off the next loan on the list. So you're just going to go down the list and then pay them all off, okay? So you're just going to continue to go right down. All right, check. All right, check. All right, check. You get what I'm saying? Until your debt is completely paid off. This is going to make you feel so lighter. Because even if you're just making a minimum payment, or even if you're making at least $5 above, that's really my recommendation. At least something, maybe a little bit more than what your minimum payment is, even if it's $10. It's going to make you feel like, yo, I'm paying my bill. You know what I mean? Like, I'm paying down my debt. You're going to feel good, because you're going to feel like you don't have to hide from the bill collector who keep calling your phone, telling you that you owe them money. Yo, dude, why you calling my phone? I know I owe you money. And if I had the money, wouldn't I have paid it? You wouldn't even be calling me if I had it. You know what I mean? Those are some of the background things, and we try to justify when they're calling as to why we don't want them on our phones, or whatever the case may be, right? But at the end of the day, guys, they did us a favor. Whether it's the credit card company, the car loan company, the mortgage company, they did us a favor. They lent us this money so that we would have the ability to purchase whatever it was that we wanted when we wanted it. And now you have to do what's right. And you have to repay them back, because they made it convenient for you. And I think sometimes, because our mindsets is so wired and it's just so stuck in this thing, this victim mentality of, why they calling me? They calling you because you didn't have a problem calling them when you needed the money. All right? So just do what it is that you need to do so that you can pay them down. That way you can get it done and over with. Okay. So number 6 is you are going to increase. Yes, you are going to increase, because now, guys, listen to what I'm saying. At this point, by the time you get to step 6, at this point, you're pretty much aware that you have been paying your debt down. You don't owe nobody anymore. You feel free. So now what? So now what you're going to do is you're going to increase your emergency savings, right, to 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Why? Because you no longer have all of that other stuff to be worried about, which means you have the available funds to do it. Do not let your mind trick you back into going and re-spending that money on other stuff because you feel like, oh, now I have more available. That means I got more to spend. No. It doesn't mean that you have more to spend. It means that you have more to save that you can invest so that you can get your money working for you. Rather than you working for money, you're going to start investing in things so that while you sleep, you could be continuing to collect a residual income in some way under some affiliate program or product or whatever it might be. Okay, so yes, you are going to increase your emergency savings to 3 months, at least 3 months of what you had before. Okay, 3 to 6 months of what you had before. So maybe if we were doing $1,000, then boom. Okay, now you want to increase your savings to $3,000. Do whatever it is that you need to do to try to get your bank account up to $3,000. Put the money in there. You don't have all that other stuff over your head no more. Okay, and even when you had it over your head, your behind wasn't paying it no way. Okay, so let's get real here, guys. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to consider saving 3 months. Start there first. All right, start there first, because now that your debts are paid off, saving money should be mad easy. It should be a breeze for you to do that at this point. Okay, so consider saving about 3 months, start there, okay, with about 3 months of your expenses of whatever it is that you know you need to cover for the month, right? And mainly if your income is pretty secure and you know that you're in the money flow and everything is working out good, then go ahead and try to save up to 6 months worth of expenses, okay? Because this is going to help you to where you'll be able to just have things paid off in advance to where you could just go and do whatever you want to do, and that whatever money is coming into you, coming to you, you have a little more freedom to use it the way that you want to after you invest. Okay, I don't care if it's mutual funds, I don't care if it's stocks, bonds, whatever. You have to invest in something that's going to make you more money. Use your money to make you more money. Use your money to make you more money. Use your money to make you more money. Don't use your money to make you owe more money. Don't spend money that you don't have. How is that helping you, and how has that worked out for you so far? It hasn't. Which is why majority of us end up in these situations. But I'm sharing with you guys the tools and the tips that worked for me to help me become closer to my financial goals. Okay? Am I a multi-millionaire, billionaire yet? Not yet, but I can promise you I'm not that far from it. Why? Because my mindset is wired completely different, and I know the steps that I need to take now in order to generate that income, in order to make it to where that is my story. Okay? And so I'm just trying to help you help yourself the way I had to do certain things to help myself feel, think, and become financially free. Okay? So the money that you save, like for the 3 months or for the 6 months, right? This is my recommendation, okay? You could find something else that you want to invest it in. It's totally up to you. Just make sure you find a place to invest it that's going to bring money to you, all right? So I was going to say that the money that you save for the 3 months worth of expenses or the 6 months worth of expenses should also be put in a savings account or a money market account. At first, guys, don't worry about the interest rate, because sometimes we get all caught up on the interest rate. Just make sure that you're investing in something that's pretty safe. Okay, and if something should happen, it's easily accessible. But don't wire your brain to think like, oh my God, because this might happen, that might happen, and so I'm gonna do this. Don't dwell on that. Just know that you're doing a good thing, and you're going to feel good that you actually have this money and you didn't even have to touch it. And that's what I'm trying to get you to. All right? I'm trying to get you to having it being 110% available to you, but you not having to use it. And it's continuing to build itself so that you can have more of it. Get it? Get it. All right. All right. So whatever you invest in, guys, just make sure that it's a fund that's going to make you money. Make sure it's a safe account. Make sure that it's something that is not going to make you lose a whole lot of whatever you have invested. Okay. Until you get to a point to where you have so much that risking that type of money is not even a problem for you. Okay. And eventually you can get there, but you got to change your habits. That's what this is about tonight. Really changing your money habits, the ground rules, the ground rule habits that you can change in order for you to reach financial freedom. Now we're going to start working on some mindset things throughout the week, between this week and next week, that is really, really, really going to knock your socks off. Okay. Information that if you didn't know, now you will. And I'm going to give it to you. All right. And so the last but not least recommendation is number 7. I would like for you to increase your retirement savings. Increase your retirement savings up to 15%. So you know how they say, like, when you tithe, or if you're an entrepreneur, the first thing you should do is if you're into tithing, they tell you to take 10% and give it to the church in order to help the church continue to run, or whatever the case may be. But if you're an entrepreneur, they tell you to pay yourself first that 10%, which you should be doing. You should be getting, even if you work a regular job, you should still be taking 10% of your income and putting it into another account. 10% isn't a lot. Just think that if your paycheck was $600, 10% of $600 is only $60. Put that $60 away. Okay? Pay yourself. You got to take care of yourself too. Because the first thing we do is we think about our creditors and our debtors and all of that other stuff, which is good because we do got to take care of that. But you still got to take care of you, because you're going to feel so good that, every other week when you get paid, by the time 6 months come, you've accumulated, over a few $1,000s in your account because you just been paying yourself 10%. Do it. It works. All right. So increase your retirement savings 15%, move from 10% to 15%. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. But make sure that this is set aside for your retirement account. So if you don't have a 401k, you can always go into the bank, and I believe it's money market accounts or something like that. Oh, Roth IRA is what I believe it's called. All right, so you can use one of those to start paying into, putting money in this account for your retirement, because you don't want to end up like a lot of these old people out here. And I'm not trying to be funny when I'm saying old people, because even some young people have old habits and mindsets that came from the elders that raised them. But at the end of the day, you have to you don't want to end up like these people when they get 65 and they should be retiring, that they're forced to work another 10 to 15 years to even generate any income, because most of them are on medication. They gotta pay to get their medicine, or they're struggling to pay their rent because Social Security is not giving them enough money, and so they don't have anything to actually offset the balance of their rent. So they end up moving into the senior citizen homes, and just all of this stuff. And all of this stuff, at the end of the day, guys, is really just programming that we've been taught to do this stuff. We've been taught to live this way. So I've come to break the chains off of that. Okay, I want to break the chains off of your mindset so that you can begin thinking differently, so that you can begin taking different actions that are absolutely 100% going to bring you different results. But it all starts with you. It all starts with you making a commitment. It all starts with you saying, I want to be financially free, and I'm going to do what it is that I need to do in order to get there. Okay? So this is for you, and this is for your grandchildren. This is for your great-grandchildren. These are, you know what I mean? It's beyond saving money just for you. Okay? If you have kids, one of these days you're going to end up with grandkids, and they're going to need money for their college fund or whatever it is that they're into, and you should be able to do it. They should be able to come to you and be like, Grandma, can you help me? Mommy, can you help me? We shouldn't have to feel like it's a burden. It's all stressed out because we got to pay tuition. And for those of us who end up in that situation, allow it to push you forward to want to manage your money better, so that if that case comes up again, you're in a much better place to where you can go ahead and cover the expense and still be okay financially, even after you have covered the expense that might have came up for your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, or your child, or whoever, to get this, get what you need to have for them, so that they too can live a positive, powerful, and productive life. Okay? And a prosperous life. All right? So one thing I know, guys, if you do this and you put that 15% in, the savings is going to grow. It's going to build up your money, because it's not like you just putting in, like you just put in your 15% and that's just it. If you're putting it in a savings account, then you're actually collecting interest, which means it is growing. And even the more money that you put in, and the more interest that you get, because there's more being invested. All right. So, I think that's it. Okay, I think that's it. And really, guys, these really, really are like the most logical steps. Okay, and these are the steps that I have taken to become at least, I'm past halfway financially free. I admit that. But to become totally financially free, but at least if you start here, you can at least get halfway there. And once you get halfway there, you're going to feel so good about yourself that you're just going to want to go all the way. And by that time, it'll become a piece of cake. It'll become normal for you to actually save money rather than the normality that we've adopted, the beliefs that we've adopted that, every time we get money that we have to spend it. And it's mainly because the money is burning. How do you know how they said, oh, money burns a hole in your pocket or money burns a hole in your hand because you can't hold on to it and you can't keep it. If you can't keep it and you can't hold on to it, there's something going on in you. There's something going on with your mindset as well as in regards to what you are believing when it comes to money. And so these are some of the things that we are going to talk about later on down the line as we go over some things this week during our 5 days of money talk. All right. So with that being said, guys, I hope that this live has inspired you. I hope it has educated you. I hope it has lifted you up and opened your eyes to new horizons so that you too can become financially free. There is nothing different between you and the person who is filthy rich. The only difference between you and that person is how they manage their money and their mindset that they have when it comes to money. And I'm going to do all I can to help you shift yours. Yes! Isn't that awesome? So guys, yes, get ready for my forthcoming book, From Poverty to Profit. It is coming soon to a bookstore near you, or hey, probably in my trunk too. So hit me up, okay? That book is going to be coming to you. I'm going to be dropping some magnificent jewels in that book that is really, really, that are really, really, really going to help you, shift your money mindset and just really help take you to the next level so that you can feel free, be free, love freely, and all those other wonderful things. Okay, and that's that. Okay, for now, we're gonna focus on the book. I also have a money mindset course that's getting ready to drop very soon. I'm hoping that I can have it done by September, the latest October, and it will be available for purchase on Udemy. This is a part of the Minds Up Academy online training school that I have, and I'm working to build up all of the reference materials that we're going to need in order to break free. Okay, so I'm doing my part. The least you can do is yours. All right, so minds up, guys. Make sure that you share this live. Make sure you click on notifications so that you can be notified whenever I go live so that you don't miss a beat. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is always hot and on fire, filled with them jewels and tools that don't let you snooze so you'll never lose. All right, so have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening wherever you are in the world. Have a great morning wherever you are in the world. And just remember, you are great. You are not defined by your mistakes. Your mistakes only happen so that you could become greater and learn from them. And not only learn from them, but help someone else to get through the things that you either experience for yourself or you can help them to put a halt so they don't have to go through the same things that you did. All right, guys, I'm out of here.